Hello everybody, welcome to Phil's Recap and Review, and I'm Joe Dirty Locks. And today I'm bringing you my top 5 list of characters from George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire that did not make it into HBO's A Game of Thrones. Now there are spoilers ahead, so either turn me off or keep watching. But either way, if you like the video, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button, and all that fun jazz. So here we go, I'm going to get into it. There are a lot of characters I'd like to give honorable mentions to, but I'm not. I'm just going to go give you my top 5 characters, maybe some backstory, and why I chose them. So coming in at number 5 is Sansa Stark's bestie, Jeyne Poole. Jeyne Poole gets to go with Sansa to King's Landing, and that's when, of course, things go bad for everybody.
Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
Now, I don't want to get too much into her story. It's pretty long, but it's very sad, and that's kind of why I put her on my list. I could tell you all the bad shit that happens to her. Just know this. She starts out with a privileged life as Sansa Stark's best friend, and it ends with her losing her nose to frostbite north of Winterfell in Stannis' camp after the main reason why I included her is the driving point for Reek's redemption back to Theon. He saves her life. Now, I know he kind of gets to do the same thing with Sansa, but because it's not Sansa, because it's not a Stark, I feel like it's a deeper moment in Reek's development, and that's why I chose Jeyne Poole as number 5. So coming in at number 4 is Lady Stoneheart. Lady Stoneheart is what's left of Catelyn Stark after she's nearly decapitated and murdered and thrown from the twins during the Red Wedding. Now, I chose her because I love a good revenge story, and she is the embodiment of that. She is out for blood for anything or anyone that has anything to do with the Red Wedding, the Freys, the Boltons, the Lannisters, and I really wanted to see that on the show. I hope we get to it at some point. There is still time to introduce this character, and I hope they do that. But until then, she's on my list at number 4, and I really hope we do get to see her. Next up is the Ghost of Highheart. Now, the Ghost of Highheart is a 3-foot-tall woman with white hair that reaches the ground, that walks with a black gnarled cane. The imagery behind her is really cool. She's a fortune teller. She might be a dwarf. She might be a witch. She might be a child of the forest, or one of the children of the forest, whatever you want to call it. And she is an amazing character. Her main interactions involve around Arya and the band of brothers, Beric Dondarrion, Thoros of Myr, and I just thought it was a real shame to lose her. I really liked the stuff that involves her, and she gave us a lot of good fortune-telling kind of stuff. And she's mentioned here and there in the books, and it was just a really good character that I really missed the interaction between her and Arya. There's some good stuff about how Arya's got like the stink of death on her, and that at first she thought it was Beric Dondarrion. If you remember in the show, Beric Dondarrion kind of gets cleaved in half, and he's died a few times, and Thoros of Myr has kind of brought him back. So she says, I thought it was Thoros who had the stink of death on him, but it's actually you, Arya. And she tells us a little bit about Balin's death, and about Renly's death, and about just all this really cool stuff. I really wish she was in the story, and I really miss her. So next up is Cold Hands. Cold Hands is dressed like he's from the Night's Watch. He rides this massive moose, or elk. He's got a murder of crows that follows him around. Only thing is, he's dead. Well, yeah, dead. He looks like a white. His hands are cold, is filled with congealed blood. His skin is gray. He's dead. He is a white. Only he can talk, and he does talk, and he talks to Bran, and he talks to Sam, and ultimately he saves Sam's life, and he helps Bran get to the Three-Eyed Crow. I really can't stress enough how much I really loved this character in the book, the way he was described, and I could not wait to see what they did. Obviously he's a minion of the Three-Eyed Crow, or the Children of the Forest. He does help Bran, and he does help Sam. And it really, in my mind, was a shame that they took this character out. But still, they should have given us Cold Hands. I really thought it would have been an amazing addition to the show, and he is to the books. So disappointed and very bummed, very, very bummed that this character wasn't in the book, more so than the last three that I mentioned, obviously, because this one was the one that came in at number 2. Now, coming in at number 1 is Penny. Who's Penny, you ask? Penny is one of the 5 dwarves that portrays the Battle of the 5 Kings at the Purple Wedding. Now, her father is also one of those 5 dwarves. They ride the pig and the dog, and they joust each other, and the whole scene is made to make Tyrion feel really uncomfortable, and it is a great success. Now, in the aftermath of the Purple Wedding, Cersei Lannister puts out a hit on her brother Tyrion. Now, during this time, many heads are brought to Cersei's feet trying to claim the reward for Tyrion. Eventually, she gets really pissed at this, but one of those heads in that time is Penny's father. Now, when Tyrion finally makes his escape from the jail and gets to the docks, Penny ends up seeing him somewhere along the travels, whether it was in one of the docks in Essos, which is where I think it was, or on the boat, or somehow she recognizes him, and she tries to kill him. Now, it's been a long time since I read the book, so it's all a little fuzzy for me, but I remembered really liking this character for everything that she did for Tyrion. And you gotta remember, in the books, he's been hideously scarred. Not that, like, one scar, but missing half his nose. He's really ugly. She teaches him how to kind of lighten up, to joust on the back of the pig, because eventually he's going to need to know this if they're going to make it all the way out to the Queen and cover up the fact that he is Tyrion Lannister. So she teaches him how to joust and all this great stuff. But what she teaches him most of all is how to open up and how to basically be a human again after all this horrific shit that he's kind of gone through. Having to kill his father, the betrayal of Shay, the tension between him and his brother, and just all this stuff. This was the one character I thought really, most of all out of any of them that were taken out, that I really wish had still been in it. I would have loved to have seen Tyrion interact with another dwarf, especially kind of, he thinks she's pretty but ugly, but pretty but ugly, and just, it really would have been fun to watch and fun to see. I don't know why they didn't put her in. It could have been easy enough. But, hey, that's HBO, and for what it's worth, everything they have done, and how they've changed characters, and things from the book, it's all come around, and it's all been great, and pretty much everything's leading everybody to the points that they were supposed to be in the first place. So I don't have any real complaints, just kind of wishes, and that's my top 5 wishes of characters that should be in the show that were in the book. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, I'm sorry. If you did, please hit subscribe, hit like, and as always, put your comments in down below. Let me know who your top 5 are, or anything like that. Thanks.